clips. Welcome to the clips. Where the fun never ends. We'll dive into topics, make new best friends. So grab a seat, get ready to go on the Clips Podcast Show. Let's enjoy the flow. Ain't nobody messing with mine. We'll discuss the latest trends and news. Laugh and debate, leave you feeling amused. Oh yeah, Tim the man as your host will keep the energy high. Interviews and stories that will touch the sky. Let's talk. Let's talk.
All right, we're back. It's called getting something in your belly.
I got something on the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Now gonna do it. How y'all doing out there? Sorry about that, y'all. I'm doing like 8 things at one time. Let me see here. And yeah. And yeah. Well, yeah. How y'all doing this Wednesday? Me and JT came on spur of the moment. I wasn't coming. He convinced me. We'll do this. Tonight we'll do things a little different. Y'all make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We're gonna do a topic tonight. Opposed to doing a video, we'll do a topic. We'll do a topic, and me and JT is gonna discuss it and see what you guys think. What I got. And you, the people out there, y'all can hit the chat, live chat. Tell me what y'all think. Let me see here. I'll put it up to the screen, and we'll discuss it. Sometime my phone.
Should a man wait till a marriage to do what?
To have sex.
To do what?
Why have sex? Why or why not is the question. Why or why not? Should a man wait or should he not wait? Should he? I've had people tell me, you check a car before you buy it, don't you? I'm like, is that the same thing though? That's not equivalent to a human being.
Oh,
Should you wait?
There's a couple of things. I think it depends on the man's cultural influences.
His
I believe,
culture?
yeah, like how you was raised.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Some people are devout Christians,
Mhm.
Jewish folks, Muslims. I mean, devout ones.
Uh-huh.
Once you play by the rules.
Right.
Buddhists, Hinduists. So maybe they have that cultural installation of I should wait to do it. Personally, I just feel society for
Okay.
every TV show you watch on television, whether they're pushing an over sexualized black agenda,
Not the
whether
TV
they're
show.
pushing gay agenda,
Right.
everything centers around alcohol, weed, and sex. And music, TV,
Oh my
movies.
God.
That's all you see. I mean,
Alcohol,
the whole point of sex is to reproduce. I mean, that's
Yeah.
literally what it's there for,
That's the original intent.
to
Yeah, the original
replicate
intent.
yourself,
Yeah.
not just to be getting off to be getting off.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Right.
You
That's
know,
what most people.
when I was much younger, sex was a big deal. And it was like trying to get your
Okay.
peers to look at you like you a manly man. And They tease you if you wasn't, out here with the ladies doing
Right.
your
If you
one
wasn't doing
two.
anything.
It was peer pressure,
Right.
So you want to show you the man, and unfortunately, I think us as a people, us as a race, we overemphasize sex to prove some type of masculinity, but we don't
Hmm.
deal with the
Hmm.
unanticipated consequences of those choices and decisions, such
That's
as
the part that
pregnancy,
now do you think now
STDs.
do you think that is do you think is that our parents are not directing us right? Because like you said, the consequences afterward, that means somebody ain't telling us in the black community the consequences of these things. Like you said, you've been upheld at a in a stand at a standard if you have more sex with more people.
I think with age comes wisdom. I think that you also look at the role models that have been placed in front of you, and if your mother has three
Right.
different baby daddies, you know what I'm saying? You got multiple siblings from different
Right.
men, different sources. I think
Hmm.
it sets up a permission structure that's okay, even though your parent may tell you that's not okay.
Okay. Right.
I think it sets up a permission structure for young women to feel like it's okay to have multiple partners,
Hmm.
multiple fathers of their
Right.
children. And I mean, you've had clips of videos. I got
Yeah.
seven different baby daddies and seven. I got seven kids, seven different
But
baby daddies.
now
You know
wait a
what I'm
minute.
saying?
See, so you saying that, like you said, I put videos up, and y'all can go back and look at video. So women, they will almost promote it in a sense of glorifying it. But if a man got a whole bunch of kids, he's looked at as a bad guy. If he got several kids from several different women. But if women say, like you said, I got 7 million baby daddies, so what's the big deal?
I mean, that's their value system. You get what I'm
Which
saying?
one? Which one is the value system?
I mean, for anybody who chooses to have multiple kids by multiple like that's crazy. I try to explain that to my kids, like, okay, sex is all fun, fine and fun until
Hmm.
you got a mouth to feed, and then you keep making that same mistake. Now you
Hmm.
got 3, 4 mouths to feed. You could barely feed yourself.
That's true.
That don't make sense.
Yeah, the game changes once you got to feed somebody else. The
So I
game.
mean, you talking about spending $250,000 for 18 years
Ooh,
doing this, and we're not talking about private school. We're not talking about after school activities. We're not
right,
talking about all the other stuff, the movies, the
right.
Christmases, the birthdays, everything else
Mm,
that comes with being a responsible parent.
mm.
Now
But
you
they.
do that for one, that's $250,000.
So what do you say to somebody who say, what we were talking about earlier? Uh, you need to try it out before you buy it, and they equate that to marriage before they have marriage. Like, you need because if it ain't no good, I have somebody say if it ain't no good, they ain't staying in the marriage. So you need to check it out first. I'm like, wait a minute. The only way you saying that is because that means you have something to gauge it against. So you talking about previous relationships, and now you're making that your basis of what it should be like. That's not how you do things, but that's what people do. Go ahead, society does.
No, I mean, I agree. I had a class my freshman year at Morgan State and was taught by a little old Jewish guy. He had to be in his 70s. He was a sex therapist.
Oh
I forgot
God.
the name of the class. It was something about family and children and marriage,
Hmm.
something.
Right.
And so he was talking about sex, and he talked about the over reliance of women placing the responsibility of men on men to make them reach orgasm.
Oh God.
Right.
Are
So
you
we were
serious?
having that conversation in class one
He
day.
said it's the man's responsibility.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I
He
thought.
just put it out there. He was talking about a society. You look
Uh-huh.
at the talk shows, you listen to some of the lyrics of these female rappers. If he can't make me, then I'm
Oh,
his best.
gotcha.
Like you get what I'm saying. So if a man so called is not living up to that woman's expectation,
Uh-huh.
then he's castigated. He's made to feel
That's
less
right.
than.
That's
But the
right.
reality of the situation is, that's
Uh-huh.
what the professor taught us, that everybody in a relationship is
I'm curious.
responsible for their own feeling, their own body,
Oh,
and their own reaction to the
y'all hear
sexual
that?
intimacy.
Y'all hear that?
It's not up to somebody else to please you.
Hmm.
And if you love them, if you care about them, and they're
Right.
not pleasing you the way you want to be pleased, then you have that conversation and you teach each other how to touch or how to be
What?
loved the way you want to
Oh,
be
okay.
loved. You don't
Okay.
necessarily have to try it out. You can
Yeah.
have a simple conversation, take your vows, and work on it. And now,
Okay.
when you get to the point where it's irreparable and we can't figure this thing out, then
Mm-hmm.
okay, you can get the marriage annulled. Like we're just incompatible, irreconcilable difference.
Mm-hmm.
But it's no one person's responsibility to sexually satisfy another person.
Mm.
It's just
So
not.
to make them happy, to
But
make
society tells you different.
right. Society tells you that's not true. It's their job and it's their responsibility to do that.
Yep,
Hmm.
and it's not
Right.
true.
Right. So, uh, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought here. But yeah, you have people say, "Hey, no, I believe." You got people say they do believe that you should wait until marriage because if you actually did wait, you have a lot less problems.
You
You
might.
think?
You
And you
might.
will. I mean, you will have less problems. You won't have the baby mama. You won't have the financial burden. You won't have no kid to take care of. You won't have none of that. You're a virgin. Just say you're a virgin. You won't have none of these problems.
Yeah.
So if I can say this, and that's a fact. That's not a you just assuming. No, that's a fact. If you don't have none of that stuff to take care of, and you're a virgin, why won't most people do that? Just be virgins. Why won't most people do that?
I don't know. But I mean, even if you compare it to drinking, you're consuming spirits, right? That's what they call hard liquor.
Yeah,
It's
true.
spirits. So you're
That's right.
ingesting
That's why I
spirits
say you're.
that change the way you act.
Go ahead.
External stimuli. So that means
That's
you
why they
act
call it
differently
under the influence.
under the influence. So you act
Yeah,
differently
it's
with
called.
your friends.
Yeah.
You act differently with strangers,
That's
and
right.
you definitely act different with your woman.
Mm-hmm.
Those spirits change you,
Mm-hmm.
make you do things that you
Mm.
necessarily wouldn't have done if you were sober. Now transpose that to sex. That
Right.
exchange of
Mm-hmm.
DNA and energy, and I'm giving you a piece
Mm.
of
Right.
my family that's been around in this country since 1619, right? And you're giving me a piece
See, so
of
that's what. So
that
so
transference
that's
of
what make it so
energy.
sacred.
Great.
That's why. Well, see, that's what makes it so sacred. That's why it's for marriage, because like you were just saying, you're transferring, and you don't supposed to do that with everybody. You don't supposed to get everybody a piece of you,
You're not.
especially a woman. You really don't supposed to do that because
You
a
shouldn't do
woman's body
anybody.
is not even built to actually do that. I mean, men, even though, and I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying God developed us to be able to procreate continuously till we go in the grave. A woman has a time, she on the clock, as well as her body is not designed for a bunch of men to sleep with her. That's why they say it's hard for a woman to attach to one man after she done had several partners. She can't attach based on not the dopamine, but I forgot what it's called. It's a chemical balance that makes the woman latch onto a man based on those chemical reactions of having the sex.
No, it
So
is
if
dopamine.
she has several partners, she is that what it is?
Yeah, it's dopamine.
I think it's something. But yeah, she had a hard time of clamping on to one man because she have more what they say more than 5 or 6 partners. That's when you see a lot of women have a lot of problems with
But see,
men.
so here again is another analogy, another comparison. Do you know why
Hmm.
cocaine, crack, and any drug in that family is so dangerous? Because you only get
No, I
high
don't.
once, and that's the first time you do it. It has such
Hmm.
an effect on your body and your brain that you
Right.
release so much dopamine and you get so many chemical responses to that drug that a dope fiend spends the rest of their life trying to chase that high that they will never ever get again. It's
Mm.
impossible.
To get
Once
that,
you've had it, that's it,
that's it.
right? Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
And people want to chase that.
I've never experienced it, so I can't. That's why I'm asking.
I'm, well,
Not saying that you have neither, but I'm
no,
just saying,
I mean,
yeah,
I took a dual
probably through
diagnosis
study.
class when I was
Yeah.
on my first master's degree, and that's why
Okay.
they taught us. And then that's when you see them starting to use other drugs,
Mm.
alcohol, methamphetamines. I want to be up. I want to
Mm.
be down. I'm trying to
Right.
figure out how to get as high as I can. Like the
Right.
first time I took this drug, and
Mm.
then doing all those different types of drugs create the mental illnesses that you see on cops, live PD, on
Mm.
patrol live, where the majority of their arrests come from
Mm.
people doing meth, weed, or cocaine.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
They're trying to chase a high. Sex is the same.
It's
You're
equivalent.
trying
They
to
say.
chase a high
Hmm.
that you've already experienced, especially if you're in your 50s or your 60s.
Right.
You've already experienced that high. I don't know how many times, tens of
Right.
thousands of times.
Mm.
So it really doesn't matter at this point in my life. I'm not looking to chase a high from a dopamine release of having sex. What I'm looking for:
Right. So do you
partnership,
think?
affection,
Right.
honesty, compassion, truthfulness.
So do you think that's why a lot of people end up breaking up a relationship or marriage because they're chasing that what you call the sex high, which is what they had with a partner previously? They
Yeah.
said, "Oh man, do you think?" Uh, so basically, it's people faking it. They faking it to try to make it in a relationship when they know this person's not giving them. Okay, let's say they get in the marriage and this person can't please them like the other person did. Pookie Ray Ray. Do you think that's why a lot of women leave that man because he's not like the Pookie Ray Ray? Sex
No, because
crazy.
I think a woman stay. And again, now we talk about hierarchy of needs.
Hmm.
If she's getting fed, if she
Right.
has a roof over her head, if she's being protected,
But
loved,
that
cared
ain't enough
for.
though, they say.
But I'm just saying, sex is just a byproduct that, like, okay, this is an additional factor which makes me happy. A woman
Right.
will stay in a situation where she's taken care of, maybe not necessarily loved, but provided for, and the sex
Right.
will be horrible.
But is she gonna stay?
She'll get a dildo, vibrator, whatever.
No, you there. You
She'll,
there.
she'll figure it out.
What you mean she gonna go get that toy? You
She gonna
there.
figure
So,
it out.
but I'm saying she don't need the toy if, like you said earlier, you sit up and talk about it and you find out the different parts of the body and all that. See, this is what I'm saying. Uh, that's why you need to wait because, like I say, if a person, if you waited and you never had anything to compare it to, you would think actually that's the best in the world. What you think?
I mean, shit. Like Eddie Murphy said, it was that in Raw. Like if you ain't ate in 7 days and somebody gave you a Ritz cracker, that's the best Ritz cracker I ever had in my life. Yeah, he was. What was that? The butter? Boy, it was just beautiful. That was the best Ritz cracker
He
I've
said
seen
a rich
in the world.
cracker, Jack.
He was comparing that to sex.
Yeah,
So
see,
if a woman makes you wait, by the time she finally gives it to you,
right, right,
it's like, oh God, I love it. This is the best I ever had. No, it's not the best you ever had. Is that she stalled you out for 8 9 months, and you finally got it because you wanted it so bad. You built up this fantasy, or and hoping that this is going to be the best you ever had.
hmm
But at the end of the day, it's all the same thing, bro. It's just the amount of
see.
feeling that you put into it that changes the dynamic.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So if you never did it, you wouldn't have nothing to compare this stuff to, and you will be like, "Oh, this is the best. Oh man, this is everything it was talked up to be." You'll be like, "This is everything," but people have had so many partners that they can't even gauge it no more. That's why I say you think people should wait, before they, because this is crazy. Because
It
I
is.
mean, look at society right now. Nobody want to be faithful to nobody. Everybody, you gotta have this. You gotta be this much. You gotta be this tall. Everybody is coming with making the just relationships purely transactional, conditional. I'd say conditional and transactional because it got to be a condition first meaning that you got to have this, do this, walk like this, be this tall, and then once the person agree to it, if they agree, then it's a transaction. Mean you got to do this, you got to give me this, and if you don't give me this, the condition, if the condition is not met, I don't even want the transaction. Oh, that's all this stuff is. Man. It's almost like deals. It ain't even relationships. It's deals being done.
But see, that's in our generation. I would say that's Gen X, Gen Z. As the
Uh-huh.
millennials are starting to get older, they graduated from high school 26 years ago. The
Right.
millennials, right? So their mindset is somewhat shifted,
Mm.
right? Versus
Right.
these young kids that are screwing everything, sticking it in anything and everything that's moving.
Mm.
Get what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but on the
Yeah, they think
opposite,
it's okay. They think everything they do is there's no consequences to it, but they'll see. But go ahead.
I'm just saying, like on the opposite end of it, like I've talked about this before, there are studies showing today, especially in white America, that they're not dating. Young
Mm-hmm.
men in their 20s and 30s are not dating, A, because of the economy, B, because
Yeah.
they're addicted to screens,
Mm-hmm.
porn, and hanging
And,
out with
and and
boys.
and also the women. They say they're sick and tired of what the women are asking for as far as these conditions in the transaction. They like, we're not doing all that. You're not going to Ruth Chris on the first date and spend 500. I don't even know you. They said they're just not doing it. So I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, even if they're not talking about that, the reality of it is there's just a huge disconnect. You
Yeah,
go out
that's what
to a restaurant and look at two young people. If you can find two young people on the date, they don't talk to each other. They both on their phones.
Mm,
They're not
that's a red.
engaging. They're not
That's a red.
engaging with each other.
No, that's a red flag right there. You on your phone most of the date.
But
That's
this is what they do.
I
These younger
know.
generations are attached to screens and are incapable of making emotional attachments. So if you can't make an emotional attachment, how in the
Right.
hell can you make a true physical one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can have sex, you can masturbate. The outcome
Mm.
is the same. But if you don't ever just love somebody, like to the point you just wake up in the morning and brush your teeth, you just want to kiss that motherfucker in the mouth, you
Mm.
just don't
Mm.
understand. Like that smell don't bother you. She smell like she been working
Right.
on herself. It don't bother you because you
Right.
just love that person and
Right.
you love just the like you've heard the expression, "I'll drink your bath for it." I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
the
Right.
dirty drawers. Like you know
Right.
what I'm saying? That's some
Right.
real shit when you love somebody.
Mm.
And this is something that the younger generation, I don't think, will ever have the opportunity to see, feel, or experience.
Wow.
Because
That's so.
I believe what you said about the conditionalism, the transactionalism,
Yeah. Stuff is
and frankly,
ridiculous.
frankly, they're not going to do better than this. Is the first generation that's not
Mm.
going to do better than their parents.
Oh wow.
They're not going to be able to buy a house until they're in their 40s and their 50s. And
Seemed
so
like
if
they was. Go
they're,
ahead. No, I was just saying they was just talking about that.
yeah, there's an economic impact as well.
Yeah.
The economy is messed up. It's cheaper for me to feed myself than to feed your ass and another kid. I'm trying to save my money, get a house. I don't know what you do, how much money you make, how much debt you carry, student loan wise, what's your credit score. I mean, so like
Yeah.
these
It don't mean
kids,
nothing.
they
Yeah.
switch jobs every year, every 2 years. Ain't no
Mm.
such thing as working for 20, 25 years at the same place and
No
retire.
more.
There's no such
Wow.
thing. And then you got the advent of AI coming on,
Yeah. Yeah.
artificial
Yeah.
intelligence.
That's about to take 80% of jobs. Is claimed.
So you think about that fear, the economical impacts, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they're psychologically ill-equipped to form emotion. I mean, just think about the YNs in our neighborhood. They put themselves on videos, just snatching life like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Every
That's
time
right.
I'm on Instagram or Facebook, I, I see that damn Cleveland remembrance page.
Oh, I don't
Somebody
even get
got
on that
shot.
stuff.
Somebody shot
Yeah.
themselves in the head.
Yeah. I
Somebody
don't
got
mess with that.
stabbed. Two people gunned down. Like it's
Mm.
every day. There's not a
Oh
day that
wow.
goes by that you don't see that shit.
Yeah. I don't even mess around on there. I already know
So
that.
there again, the lack of compassion, emotion in our young people is unprecedented. Look at these street takeovers,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
filming. themselves, destroying property,
Yeah. Not
beating
just
each other
seen.
down,
I just
shooting.
it's just a state that just they just passed a law about that street takeover stuff. They said hey, what state was it? They said if your kid is found, if they capture your kid during the time of a street takeover, the parent is going to jail now.
Good,
You say good?
good,
Yeah, they
absolutely good.
say they locking the parent up.
You should know where
Yeah.
your kids are.
Yep. I said, what? They said they locking the parent up, bro. Parents going bye bye.
James and they couldn't do shit without me knowing. Like they could go, like, where you going? I'm going over Josh's house. Let me call
Yeah.
Josh that. It's cool they come over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
that's how it used to
no
be.
problem. They can come on over here and chill. They don't do nothing but play the
Yeah.
game. And yeah,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Hey, Dad, we want to go to a dance. All right, I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna pick you up at this time. Hey, Dad, can we go hang out? Blah blah blah. No,
Right.
pick you up at this time
Mm.
and be ready to go when I get there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be out here in the streets. I
Mm.
used to tell them all the time, don't ask me to go to a kickback. Don't ask me to go to no house parties because it's one way in, one way out. And I ain't
Mm.
gonna lose you to no dumb shit because you off
Yeah.
of somebody else's hood, talking to somebody else's little girl, their
Yeah,
little
they
food, and
upset.
her, and now you trapped.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And then
bad.
I got to round up the squad and come through and show you what OGs do.
I mean,
It's not worth it. Just sit
nah.
your ass down, man. Be still.
I mean, just uh getting back on the topic, man, that's why I say if people and I wish I was, I ain't gonna even lie. I wish I would have been a virgin growing up and not doing anything. I mean, like you say, it was so much pure pressure put on you to say, hey man, you supposed to be doing this. I wish I never had. I wish I never had. Not like you say, we love our kids, they here, but I wish I would have waited. Like 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 you're supposed to. This is like you're supposed to.
No, absolutely. And not only do I think I would have waited, I think I would have been a lot more selective with who I gave that interview to.
You think so?
Oh yeah, even in between my first divorce to my
Hmm.
second marriage, I
Okay.
entertained a lot of shit, but I only got into serious relationships. And once those relationships ended, I kind of went crazy to try to get that pain. So
Right.
I was hot, but that did more harm than good.
Yeah.
Because when I was ready to just like, all right, I'm done with you. I can't mess with you. I found the one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, if you ain't gonna be with me, I'm gonna fuck your stuff up.
Mm.
It was that connection that some of the women couldn't let go of, and I
Right.
had real life stalker issues. I
Right.
had
Right.
real life people trying to sabatage my relationship from the
Oh
early
yeah.
dating stage.
Man, people, man, I'm so tired of that stuff. People
It's
do that
crazy,
all day, man. I don't. Yeah, that's crazy. We ain't gonna go there, but yeah,
but I mean, again,
that's
it's that
like the
exchange of
norm now.
energy. It's that
Huh?
exchange of energy, though. And when you give it to the wrong people, those
Yeah.
unintended
Yeah.
consequences that we
Yeah.
just talked about earlier in the
Yeah.
show, that's a
Yeah.
part of it.
Creep
You may
right
get,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
you may get a
Yeah.
stalker. You may get an unwanted person. Imagine having a baby with a bitch you hate,
Oh my
a
goodness.
person you just cannot fucking stand. And you got to deal with them for the next 18 years.
Yeah, that's what I say. Man,
That's
and
wild.
and that's what, like you said, that's bad choices. That is definitely bad choices right there. It's bad choice, and that's all. Like you say,
So
uh,
again, there's
go ahead.
unintended consequences, brother.
Yeah, and like I say, a lot of it comes from, like you say, the peer pressure to the whatever. We try to fit in to the get in, and man, look, and now you sitting up suffering because you wanted to fit in, listening to listen to some other dummies. They dummies, and you thought they were smart. No, they just tricked you into being where they at because you thought it was right to be. No, man, that stuff it ain't cool. But hey, that's it. So let me ask you this: in the black community, what do you think? How do you think we feel about this particular? Uh,
Waiting till marriage.
yeah, how you think in the black community? How you think we feel about it? You should a man wait to marriage to have sex? Why or why not? Yeah, in the black community, how you think they? If you could just speak on black communities' behalf. How do you think they feel about sex before marriage?
I mean, I touched on it a little bit earlier. If that masculinity and the ability to dominate and have several women to have
Mm-hmm.
sex with you is placed at a high value.
Mm.
Like, my dad was married 3 times. My granddad was married once for
Mm-hmm.
50-something years before my grandma passed and he died a couple years later. So you saw it go from on both sides. Both my grandparents were married, sets of grandparents were married till one died and then the other one died, right?
Okay. Right.
Our parents, the baby boomers, with the free love shit from the 60s and smoking weed and all that,
Mm.
and the influences
Right.
of the revolutionary movement in our community gave a sense of sexual freedom and the use of drugs that
Mm-hmm.
contaminated the ability to form meaningful relationships. They started this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby boomers had Gen X. We grew up in the crack epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
People were selling drugs and getting
Right.
blowjobs from rocks and
Right.
lucky things and you know what I'm
Mm.
saying, blunt berry, strawberry, whatever kind of berry, they was out there. So
Yeah.
as time progresses, you see the lack of respect placed on saving yourself or
Mm.
creating solidified bonds, whether it be through marriage, engagement, or just waiting.
Right.
You see it deteriorate from the World War II generation, the greatest generation, to the boomers, to Gen X, the invention of cracks, the crack epidemic, then our
Mm.
kids who are generation Y or whatever came after the millennials, our kids
Mm.
are the kids that came after the millennials. So
Mm.
you can see progressively each generation's ideas about why do you think homosexuality is so widely accepted now?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. And I'm an ally of the alphabet, LGBTQIA.
Right.
It's okay to be uniquely you and love who you want to love. You couldn't
Mm-hmm.
say that shit in 1945. You couldn't say that shit in 1965,
Yeah.
75,
Yeah,
85 with
sure.
the AIDS thing. People started getting a little more compassion for the
Right.
gay community, and that created a movement that's still going on to this day. But
Mm.
just think about that. Even leaving the confines of traditional relationships has become something that's more acceptable today than it has ever been in the history of our society, even within the black community. Our men are
Yeah.
dying at 18 to 21.
Yeah.
They're going to jail for 20 years. They're leaving these women alone with their girlfriends.
Oh God.
And what do you think happens? Then they go to
Oh
prison to
man.
get turned out. They
Oh
come
man.
back on the down low. There's
Yeah.
no emphasis on the sanctity and the purity of a sexual relationship with someone you're in love with and faithful to.
Mm.
Just like you said, that conditional, the transaction, I'm gonna do what I want,
Yeah.
when I want, how I want. Okay.
Yeah. My body, my choice stuff.
Yeah.
My body, my choice. And like you said, that's all societal trickery that it gave people. They like, they've run with it. You give people these new words and new they think it's something brand new, but it's all trickery. All you gotta do is go out in your neighborhood and take a ride around your neighborhood. You'll see the condition that is in. That's the result of where we're at. It ain't like that just because. No, it's because of the condition of the people in their minds. That's where they're at. So and like I say, even with the sex before marriage, like you say, it's the condition of our in our community, the minds of the people. Like, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's cool. I think everybody should have an OnlyFans page. Things of that nature. So, uh, well, like I said, I think we're in trouble. And
You think?
I the foreseeable future, uh, man, uh, it ain't
I'm
looking
so
good.
proud of my sons for not having any kids
Yeah, you should be. You
right
really should.
now.
Man,
They
you
understand what it
man, you
means to be a father,
mhm,
what it means to put yourself in that situation. If you're gonna do what you're gonna do, protect yourself.
Hmm.
make good choices,
You're not
and
helping
don't put
buying
yourself in a
diapers or
position
none
that.
of that stuff. You don't have to be grandpa and buy no diapers or
Well,
none
I'm
of
at
that.
the age I'm kind of ready, but not until you marry. Like you
That's
know,
what I'm
get you
saying.
married,
That's what I'm saying.
build a foundational relationship,
Right.
spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically,
Which
financially.
yeah, which makes all the sense in the world, because that's the intent in which, and I believe, you know, we once had that in our community, in the
We
black
did.
community. Yeah, I believe we did. I mean, these folks can't see it now. They can't see it. They don't think it ever even existed, probably, because they have nothing to see to gauge it off of, based on the way the community conditions of what it looked like now. So, yeah, but I believe, like I say, prior to the 1950s, being married at 95% rate, people were waiting to marry, or like you say, uh, even in our time, if you knocked the girl up, you had to be with her. You wasn't, and it was shame on you, shame on your family. There's no more shaming or anything anymore.
No,
It's just accepted as the norm, what we say as the norm. But yeah. Yeah, I thought that'd be a good topic.
it's
I
a
think
great
that,
topic.
yeah, should you wait? And yeah, basically give me your reasons why. If y'all get a chance, put it in the chat. I like to hear from y'all as well. But yeah, man. Like I say, not everybody agree with me. I've brought this topic up before, and people say, "Oh, yeah, you gotta try it out before." I mean, I've had people argue me down, like they were giving me bone chilling facts why you must try it out before. I said, wow, because they say, what if you don't like it? And if you marry, him or her, now you stuck with that person and it wasn't good. I said, well, you are exactly the reason why you should wait. That's why you should have never waited, because you got too much to gauge it against. Like you say, you got all these different spirits that you try to gauge it against. Like you say, you never gonna catch that high again. You chasing that for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
You
great
chasing
topic,
that.
brother.
Yeah, great topic. Well, I'm glad y'all came tonight. And well, that's what I think what we'll start doing. We'll do topics, and we still do some videos, but we're gonna do some topics and see what y'all think, because it seems like this is what we really need to be talking about. Because we already know people fools out here. So watching videos and seeing people have an opinion and this and that, we'll give y'all our opinion. Me and the JTZ, and we'll go from there. You got anything you want to shout out before we go, JT?
No, sir.
No, sir. Everybody all right? And we'll do
Everybody great.
that. So, with that being said, make sure you tune in on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. The At Clips Podcast Show. We'll have more topics for you. Until then, we ain't gonna even play music tonight. We just gonna end it. Peace.